Shook. I thought somebody said it over there. Councilmember Boone, and then Councilmember Faroki as well. Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Motion is made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
And it's adopted. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is adopted. Make a motion to adopt full agenda, council agenda.
Second.
Motion made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is adopted. Takes us to our public comment section. Remind you all, you have 3 minutes for public comment. Have one person that is signed up, Mr. John Stopp.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, morning, afternoon. Hey, I wanted to address a few of the comments that Councilmember Bakhtiari made during the last full council meeting regarding the incident at Oakland Cemetery on October 4th, where the guard lost his job. At the last council meeting, Bakhtiari stated the only reason this is a story is because an officer put my name in a police report that I refused to participate in. This statement is a blatant lie. Bakhtiari is seen on the body cam footage voluntarily making numerous statements to the officer, and at one point she even spells out her full name letter by letter to the official. So not only did Bakhtiari voluntarily participate in the police report, the only reason a police officer was even on the scene is because of a phone call she made. At 33 minutes and 33 seconds in the body cam footage, she states, I called the commissioner, he calls the deputy chief of staff, who calls the COO, who calls Deputy Commissioner Voss, who dispatched Major Singh. Bakhtiari's defense strategy hinges on the notion that, quote, an unidentified man began approaching us in the dark with no flashlight, shouting obscenities at the top of his voice. However, in the body cam footage, her friend Kate, who was the first to speak with the officer, states that the man in the dark yelled, y'all need to get out of here now, to which they responded, yes, we are packing up. That initial exchange demonstrates that the voice yelling out from the darkness was immediately understood to be a cemetery guard coming to get the group to leave after already having been asked once before. Bakhtiari at that point also interjects to inform the officer that she had informed the guard, who was then yet supposed to be an unidentified man, that she had called Richard Harker, the executive director of Oakland Cemetery. She does her best to demonize the guard and portray him as an aggressor. At the 28-minute and 35-second mark in the body cam footage, she states, based on what he was holding, I thought he either had a gun or a bat. Later, at 31 minutes, 21 seconds, she states, he came charging us, he was screaming in my face, he was making himself bigger, he was approaching them with fists. She also states, we had no idea who they were, which directly contradicts the statement they made at the beginning of the statement made to the police. Using her statements to the police officer in her social media post, she does everything she can in her power to belittle, demonize, and defame a man who is simply doing his job. I believe she acted in an unethical manner, and I believe she owes Mr. Monfort an apology, and she should be censured for her behavior. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That brings us to the end of public comments, which brings us to official business, starting with communications. Please read the caption.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If there is no objections, can we take items 1 through 3 as a block?
Go ahead.
Item number 1, 24C5121, a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Mr. Sean Norman to serve as a member of the License Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Item number 2, 24C5128, a communication from Council members Marcy Collier Overstreet of District 11 and Antonio Lewis, District 12, appointing Mr. Delvin Davis to serve as a member of the Water and Sewer Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. And item number 3, 24C5129, a communication from Councilmember Howard Shook, District 7, Mary Norwood, District 8, and Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large, reappointing Mr. Earl Young to serve as a member of the Water and Sewer Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 2 years to begin retroactively on October 1st, 2024, and expire September 30th, 2026.
Thank you, sir. Motion to approve items 1, 2, and 3. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Items are favorable. Next item.
Next item is item number 4, 24C5134, a communication from Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large, appointing Ms. Vernetta Nuruddin to serve as a member of the Atlanta Commission on Women. This appointment is for a term of 2 years.
I see we have been joined by Ms. Nuruddin. Tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Vernetta Keith Nuruddin. I was born and raised in the Adamsville community and been a long-term advocate for women and children in public education for the better part of 20 years. I'm married and for 29 years, and we have 3 children. And I support this work, and I would love to do it.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable, and I guess the team will be in touch with you about the next steps.
Thank
you for your willingness to serve. Next item, sir.
Next item, that brings us to our communications/resolutions. This is item number 5, 24R4194, a resolution by Committee on Council appointing Ms. Sarah McCauley as the Atlanta City Council appointee to the Atlanta Beltline Design Review Committee, as the appointee designated for a member of the public who is an urban planner for a term of 2 years and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. That takes us to our next item.
Mr. Chair, that concludes our regular scheduled agenda. We do have a walk-in legislation.
Before we handle the walk-in, item number 7. I see it's held, but I see Mr. Allen in the audience. Are we handling that today, or?
We can handle that today, yes, sir.
Read the caption.
This is item number 7, 24C5123, a communication from Councilmember Jason Dozer, District 4, appointing Mr. Jason Allen to serve as a member of the Atlanta Commission on Fatherhood, Men, and Boys. This appointment is for a term of 2 years.
Thank you. I see Mr. Allen approaching the mic. How you doing, sir? Give us your name and tell us a little bit about you.
Jason B. Allen, again, good morning. 19-year veteran educator from the city of Atlanta. I've been doing engagement with men and families for 19 years, and I'm excited to be a part of this work. Thank you, Council Member Jason Dozier, and so many of you all on here that I've worked with. Thank you.
Yes, I want to thank Jason and his entire family for everything they have done in the city of Atlanta. They have worked tirelessly in the Adamsville community and the Mosley Park community. So, Jason, thank you so much for all you all do, and congratulations on Lily's Foundation.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. That takes us to our walk-in legislation, and I think a presentation is coming with that. So,
Yes, sir. This is ELMS ID 36786, a resolution by Committee on Council to accept the report and recommendations of the City of Atlanta's 2026 through 2029 term of office elected officials compensation commission regarding the salaries of the 2026 incoming City of Atlanta mayor, City Council president, Atlanta City Council members, Atlanta Board of Education chair, Atlanta Board of Education vice chair, and Atlanta Board of Education members, and for other purposes.
thank you. Sir, give us your name and proceed with the presentation.
Morning, my name is Quentin Washington, and I had the distinct pleasure to serve and chair the Elected Officials Compensation Commission. And we have some recommendations for you all. We did a brief PowerPoint, but I know you all have the briefing in your book there. But what I wanted to say was the committee worked really hard, and the staffers, et cetera. So thank you all, Mark, and everybody else that worked with us tirelessly on this. But I want to take you through a couple of things. One, we have a brief presentation where we're going to talk about a couple of these things. And what's important to note was we looked at a value system, right? We wanted the city of Atlanta to be able to have an inclusive elected body. We wanted to not only make sure that there was an inclusive elected body, but that housing affordability was taken into consideration and also board stability. We felt like if we looked at these three things from a macro level, then how could we attempt to try to solve this in our committee? And so part of what we looked at was we had a bunch of the data sources from Evergreen Consulting. We looked at the methodology of the past 20 years of surveys that you all have done, which included Bain, some other surveys from Bloomberg, et cetera. We looked at survey results from you all as elected officials and not only just city council, but also Atlanta School Board. We also looked at publicly available salary and benefits data from other peer cities, because many times when you're looking at some of the salary information, it does not include the other benefits that they receive, such as non-taxable benefits. And in some counties, those non-taxable benefits can be $50,000+. And we also looked at housing trends in Atlanta, recognizing that uniquely the Beltline should be finished in 2026, and that will have an effect on property values as well. And looking at the Georgia housing market, one of the things that we looked at is that the average house in Atlanta runs roughly about $400,000. And so using that, the goal with dealing with stability and affordability with housing and also with salaries and inclusiveness for this position, we wanted to make sure that if people wanted to serve in an elected capacity, that they would be able to do so at a salary that would allow them to be able, if you're a single father and taking care of children, or if you're a single mother taking care of children, that you would be able to afford to buy a place in the city of Atlanta. And so that was really important to us to express as a value and how we come across to get to that. We looked at peer cities for comparisons with city elected officials, and these were the top, I think, 15 of them that we looked at. We also looked at, when looking at mayor salary and chief executive salaries, we looked at CEOs of similarly sized companies, because we do believe that with the strong mayor form of government here, that's something that should be taken into consideration with salaries. And we also looked at the annual salaries of the largest 10 school boards as well. And so here's our recommendations. Mayor's salary, $271,000. Council president, $132,500. Members of council, $127,500. Board of Education chair, $80,000. The Board of Education vice chair, $77,500. And the Board of Education members, $70,000. We think that these salaries would align to greater stability and also allow for inclusivity with people that would want to run, that would be not only at the beginning and the end of their careers, but also in the middle of their careers. And we felt it important to make sure that with all of the data and all of the trends that we looked at is what in 2026, when this takes effect, what it looked like. And these were the numbers that passed by unanimous consent of the committee. And we now stand for questions.
Thank you. I see Councilmember Farooq.
Thank you, Chairman Amos. Thank you, Mr. Washington. One question for the body, maybe for law. If we adopt this report, it's not adopting these salaries, it's just adopting the report, correct?
Excuse me. Good morning, Amber A. Robinson, City of Atlanta, Department of Law. That's correct. This would be just accepting their recommendations. So subsequent action would be needed to actually adopt the recommendations following an advertisement period of your intent to do so, and then the adoption of subsequent legislation.
Great. Which we did just prior to the 2021 election cycle, right?
The council did adopt the recommendations of the commission prior to the last election.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Question for you, Mr. Washington. The peer city comparison, it's helpful, but it doesn't include what you said you looked at, which was the salary and benefits of a number of peer cities.
Yes, we had a separate slide, and I think we put in the notes. For example, Detroit gives their folks' cars and like cars with drivers, and then like the cities in Florida, they have per diem amounts, but they also have non-taxable benefits, which can be upwards of $50,000, which is not expressed in their salary. And so, depending upon the different locales, they have different things that would not necessarily come across in salary, whereas you all's salary we looked at did not have the benefits for, you know, mileage, receipt, reimbursement, any of that thing. So we took that into consideration as well.
I'm a little bit uncomfortable adopting this without that information included. I don't know if that can be provided to be attached to this, or there's a.
Now, my understanding is
Yeah, we could provide more, we can provide that
Is
more
it just
expressly.
this that's getting adopted, or is there a full report somewhere?
There's a full report should be in your committee packet.
Oh, I'm sorry, then I missed it.
Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah, never mind then. Okay, I'll take a look. Here it is. Thank you. It wasn't further down.
No problem.
I appreciate that.
No
I was
problem.
like, what are we basing this on? And did you all look at, last question, did y'all look at frequency of meetings?
Yes, there's a whole separate discussion we have about the number of meetings and compiled from the surveys that you all sent us that had you all mostly working 40 hours a week covering the meetings that you have to.
I mean, our peer cities, frequency of meetings that they have. Like,
We did look at some of them, but the schedule, so yes is the answer to your question, but the schedule that you all have is very different from a lot of those because of the NPU meetings and all that stuff that you all are attending. So yes, we did take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Any more speakers or comments? Okay, seeing none, sir, thank you for your service. Please let the rest of your commission know. They are appreciated as well. Make a motion to accept. That motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is open. Vote is closed.
The report is accepted. I think that brings us to the end of our legislative agenda. Any comments, general comments, concerns? Seeing none, we stand adjourned.
Sweet.